Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's debate that whether electricity is suitable as a main source of fuels for transport in the near future. Here is a positive side and the negative side. In fact, electricity isn't found naturally on Earth. It's formed at power plants through other energy sources. So firstly, what do we think about the sustainability of electricity?
Well, I think electricity is rather sustainable. It does not release greenhouse gas and is renewable when produced from sources such as solar power, turbines, or geothermal powers. It is definitely a more sustainable source in comparison to petrol, which is highly unsustainable and releases a lot of carbon dioxide that contributes to global warming.
However, the derivation, production, and transport of chemicals required to generate electricity may release greenhouse gases. Plus, its production can be non-renewable when sourced from coal and crude oil. Not to mention, 61.4% of electricity production is still derived from fossil fuels in 2021, meaning that a great proportion of electric fuels are simply repackaged fossil fuels. All this talk about environmental sustainability, but how about your life sustainability? Electric vehicle batteries contain a significant amount of cobalt and nickel. Both are highly reactive chemicals, and improper recycling is known to emit a neurotoxin.
Fair points. So, how about the availability of these two fuel sources?
Well, electricity can be generated indefinitely via the flow of electrons as long as we continuously and consistently supply conductor atoms with more electrons. Conversely, the traditional fossil fuels such as petrol have limited availability as it's derived from ancient decomposed organic matters, which requires billions of years to form and accumulate. Plus, the current shortage for fossil fuels confirms that the uncertainties in the future. Look at the petrol prices now after Russia restricted their fuel export. That wouldn't happen with electricity.
I have to agree with you on that point, but measures such as mixing fossil fuels with ethanol are implemented to reduce the overall usage of fossil fuels. It will not run until 50 years later. In addition, we will have a mature production process and market for fossil fuels in transportation compared to electricity. Establishing similar developed systems for electricity needs time. Therefore, fossil fuels as the backbone of energy demand are unlikely to be replaced by electricity in the near future.
Moving on, what would you say about the feasibility and upcoming future for the two fuels?
Well, I think electricity definitely has a promising future with its consistent supply and low cost. The use of fully electrical transport will produce zero CO2 emissions due to there being no combustion of fuels, and therefore eliminating CO2 emissions from transport completely. In addition, electrical cars will likely require less maintenance than petrol cars as they contain fewer moving parts. But most importantly, electrical cars can travel longer distance with the same cost.
Fair enough. However, infrastructures and technologies used to accommodate the use of electrical vehicles are simply insufficient. With the significant amount of infrastructure required to build enough charging stations to accommodate EVs as a primary mode of transport, it requires a lot more time and labor to install these charging stations, creating a severe roadblock in popularizing electricity as a fuel source. In contrast, petrol stations are abundant and everywhere, even in the most remote areas. I think we can all agree that petrol is more convenient right now.
Great. Thank you for your fantastic contribution. Both of you provide valid arguments and powerful evidence for our topic. Is electricity suitable as a main source of fuel for transport in the near future? In conclusion, electricity has sustainable, available, and environmental friendly benefits, but is still at the early stage of development and relies on traditional sources. If we want to light electricity as energy domains for transportation, support from all sectors of society is indispensable. All right, thank you for your attention. See you next time.